This is Blair Durham with Black Wall Street Today, your media hub for all things Black business and related news, strategy, and events.
Welcome to this edition of Black Wall Street Today with Blair Durham. As always, we are excited to be here. I am delighted. We are joined by a powerhouse today, someone I have a tremendous amount of respect for, and that is none other than Dr. Hills Pruden, the C-suite strategist. She's an acclaimed and trailblazing female leadership coach with 3 decades of unrivaled business strategy and expertise across diverse industries. Honored with awards and hailed globally for her remarkable contributions, Dr. Pruden stands as a beacon of wisdom, recognized by 2 governors in Virginia and Maryland. Her empowering strategies propel women into executive positions while enabling them to sustain their success and chart their next chapter with confidence. Welcome back. How are you today?
I am wonderful. Thank you for having me.
I'm excited to have you and excited to learn more about your journey. Just watching you do all the things that you do, it's really, really inspiring.
Thank you for that. Thank you for that.
Yeah, for sure. So I know that you have created the Sister Leaders organization. Let's talk about Sister Leaders. What do you do and why is it so important?
Absolutely. So Sister Leaders is an organization of men and women who are committed to increasing the number of women in senior leadership. Generally, in all industries, by the time you get to the highest position within a company, it's usually the boys club. You don't find a whole lot of estrogen up there. And so our goal is to educate, share networks and experiences in order to increase the number of women in senior leadership. And this is for entrepreneurs, those who work for other individuals, and entrepreneurs, those who are facilitating their own mission and vision.
Yeah, love it. So why though? I mean, in the sense that are men not doing a good job? Is it that we just want to see women kind of reach their highest potential? Like, what's your thought about why this is needed?
Well, the why behind the birth of Sister Leaders is it was originated out of a pain point in my professional life. I lingered in middle management for about a decade. I had 3 back-to-back questionable bosses, and I thought that I could do their job a little bit better, mostly with ethics and integrity. Okay. And so I was looking for a female leader, and I didn't know anybody that was in senior leadership who could tell me what to focus on. Was my resume good enough? Should I even try? And so what I did, this was about 15 years ago. LinkedIn was not the powerhouse that it is now. It's 1 billion people on LinkedIn. You can check the stats. But 15 years ago, we were still trying to figure it out. So I found 2 female senior leaders who had been in their position for over a decade, sent them a copy of my resume and asked them to be my mentor. And after making me wait for about 2 weeks, one got back to me and said yes for $350 an hour. Now, $350 an hour is a lot for me now. If I lost $350, I would be looking for it. So 15 years ago, it was a lot. But what do you do when someone has already walked the path of the goal that you want? So I hired her for 1 hour a month for 1 year. That was our contract. 1 hour, because that was all I could afford at that point in my career, $350. She worked with me for 1 year, helped me identify my specialties, which are technology and analytics now. That was 15 years ago. I was invited to apply for a senior leadership position, and I have been in senior leadership ever since then. And so Sister Leaders was birthed out of my difficulty in finding a mentor. It should not be that hard, nor should it always come with the invoice when you're looking for someone just to give you some information.
But I know you're an advocate, though, at this point, of paying for that.
Absolutely. It's both. It's both. I believe in both, but I also do a lot of philanthropy. I also give my talents out freely as much as I can, but it's a balance between the two. But at that point in my career, I was just looking for someone to guide me in some information. That could have been a book, a website, or just a sit down. And I didn't know anyone.
So does this speak to why you're the perfect person to lead Sister Leaders?
I think it does, and the fact that I have moved myself from frontline to the C-suite. I have worked every position in between. I have also worked for government. I work for nonprofit. I'm now in higher education, and so I've worked for 6 different industries. So if you think about someone who has worked from frontline to the C-suite, have worked for a number of different industries, I have a number of different perspectives that I can share with my clients, depending on what their specialty is or their desired industry.
Yeah, so the C-suite, we're talking about chief of human resources, chief of finance, chief of marketing. What does it look like at that level? Like, what's your day-to-day? Are you setting strategy? Is this thought leadership? Give us kind of a day in the life, if you would.
Absolutely. And I also like to clarify when I say C-suite, because not all C-suite positions begin with a C. Okay. A C-suite position is the most president. It's the most senior position in your discipline in that company. You're considered it's a senior leader. So I use the terms interchangeably just so that people can understand. It's the senior leader, so it's the most senior person. But in terms of my day-to-day, I'm a strategist, I'm a visionary, but I also need to understand the details, but I don't do the details. I'm the C-suite position or the senior position are the most vulnerable positions in an organization because our success depends on the work of others. Sure. Everyone up under us. And so I'm the person who keeps up with our competitors, whether they're brick and mortar or online. Nowadays, if you don't know who your online competitors are, you are behind the 8 ball because people can get things done online as well. I'm the person that figure out what is going to be the next hot thing. I'm also the person who monitors the reports to determine whether or not what we're doing is working, and if not, how do we need to pivot. Monitoring the prices of goods and services to make sure that we're competitive. You don't want to be the cheapest person in town, but you don't want to be the most expensive unless you can determine what your communicate what your unique selling proposition is to be the most expensive. And so really we are the research people, the strategizers, and the people who keep up with everything else that's going on outside of the business and bring that information back into our fold.
Got it. So are there credentials? Is it strictly experience? Is it a degree that qualifies for someone or that qualifies someone for that level of leadership? What would you say?
I say it depends on the industry. You're going to need a little bit of some of all of what you said, depending on the industry. Some of it comes from experience, not necessarily education. I don't believe that leadership is a title. I believe that leadership is the impact and the influence that you have among the people to get the people to do the things that you need them to do. That can come from experience, not necessarily education. Some jobs, like in higher ed, you got to have education because your business is education. Right. And so some jobs, that is part of the credentials, which is higher education. But it's the knowledge. And then I also think that you have to have a specialty. My specialties are technology and analytics. And so when businesses are looking for someone, when they're in trouble with their technology or analytics, they know that I'm the go-to person for them. And so you need to know, what do people say about you when you walk in the room? That is your specialty. That is the results that you generate in the marketplace, your receipts. So you need to have some degree of continuous and consistent and verifiable receipts in the marketplace. And that verifiable is crucial in this day and time because we have so many people that are social media famous.
You're listening to the Black Wall Street Today with Blair Durham podcast. I'm the producer, Seiko Varner from Positive Vibes. So we would love for you to do a few things. Like this episode. You're going to like it anyway. Share this episode. It's worth sharing. And tell other people about the podcast. Sharing is caring. Let's all get wealthy.
True. So I like how if you just tuned in, this is Blair Durham with Black Wall Street Today, talking with the Dr. Karen Hills Pruden. We're talking all things C-suite. We're talking female leadership. I like how you just drew out that we've got to have an awareness about what folks are saying about us, right? I think that could be a challenge for a lot of people. You mentioned that part of your process was you hired somebody to help you identify what those contributions were. Say more about that, because I think there's a disconnect sometimes between the value that we're bringing and the value that we think we're bringing.
Oh, absolutely. So you need to know what your professional equity is in the marketplace. And there are 3 components that are associated with professional equity. It is your reputation. Your reputation is exactly what we were talking about a few seconds ago. What do people say about you or think about you when you walk in the room? Because that is a messaging that they're communicating to others.
Sure.
And those others are possibly potential customers or clients who will want your services or your products. And then also another element of professional equity is your relationships. You have to talk to people who work under you, who are above you, who are out in the marketplace, who are competitors, to know what it is that they feel about you or saying about you or think about you.
Sure.
And that's how you kind of get a temperature check. And then the third is what I mentioned before is your specialty. The third component. Your specialty is what will be your digital business card in the marketplace, and it is a message that will be carried on by others. Again, since what you say, answer to what you say is what they think about you.
So it was reputation, specialty, and what was the one?
Relationships.
Relationships. The
and now those
RRS.
are professional equity. Professional equity. And the reason why it's equity is because you can tap into the power of all 3 of those when needed. If you are within the organization and you have a high level of equity, when they're doing a reduction in force, your name may not make the cut in terms of layoffs because of your equity that you built up. If you lose your job, people may come looking for you to come work for them as opposed to you going looking for a job based on the professional equity that you've built in the marketplace. And so it's equity because you can tap into it when needed.
As leverage. Yeah.
Yes.
That's dope. I never quite heard that explained in that way. I know that you have written a number of books, kind of facilitated a number of anthologies. Talk to us about your journey in terms of authorship.
Absolutely. So it's not something that I really thought about. I started out writing poetry as a child. I've actually been a poet, published author since like my teen years doing poetry.
Really?
But it wasn't until I got my doctorate that my chair said, you need to publish. You need to be published. Mm-hmm. And I was like, okay. So the first thing I published was my dissertation. And then after that, I hired a professional coach who said that if you are going to be speaking and you're going to be part of building my professional equity, then you need to have something to sell to people when you walk off of the stage.
Because they are ready to buy at that moment, aren't they?
Like, what are you, how do they continue that relationship with you? And so you need to have something. And so I did which is my bestseller, Pruden Principles, 10 Strategies to Propel Women to the C-Suite. And that is jam-packed with 10 modules that I speak from often from the stage. And I just kept writing books and just, it's a way of sharing my knowledge with many. And my messaging is to go from one myself to many. And you can do that through writing and speaking. And so that's how I got into books. Anthologies is the opportunity for others to share their experiences so that I can reach a wider spectrum of women professionals who are experiencing different things in different industries.
Yeah. Say something about the discipline to finish a book. How do you do it? Are we talking about, 30 minutes a day? Is it that, okay, we know we're going to write 200 pages? Like, what's your formula for getting a book done where you're doing all the writing?
Okay.
And I'm asking for a friend.
Okay. So for me, I can't tell you that there's a widespread recipe because I have started writing a book and put it down and then picked it up later and finished it. It's what is your motivation to get a certain degree of work done? And a lot of times I'm not mentally motivated to just ramp out 3 and 4 chapters of a book. But then other times I can ramp out a whole book, literally in 3 or 4 days. And I tell people, I think it's best that you write when you're motivated because your words are more powerful. Your thoughts are more powerful when you put pen to paper or in our case, computer or whatever. And so the methodology is different for everybody, including myself. It depends on what the book is about. What is the role of the book in my life? Like sometimes it's deadline. Deadline determines that you will finish it by this time so I can get the publication and print and different things like that. Other times it's a passionate book is that there's a need for it in the market and I want to get that, address that need. And so I need to hurry up and finish the book. And then other times it's therapy for me. And so it just depends on what the motivation is, and the motivation helps me be more disciplined to finish the book.
Man, I feel like I've written probably 6 or 7 outlines. And when I say outline, like I've written down the purpose of the book. I've written down all of the chapters. I've even gone so far as to say, okay, within each chapter, we're going to cover these 3 basic points. I haven't been able to go any further.
I got a recommendation for that.
What's that?
So first of all, I don't do outlines.
Oh, okay.
So, but it is a good methodology though for some. I don't do outlines, but I talk into a recorder.
Okay.
So I kind of get it all out of me.
Okay.
And then I have someone else transcribe it. And so what you do, you can get it into a recorder, and I have a handheld recorder. It's a very small the size of my hand. Mm-hmm. You can literally talk your book.
Say the entire thing.
Yep, and then have someone else transcribe it.
There we go again with paying for services.
You can get it done. You can go up on Fiverr or whatever, and they'll transcribe it. And if you want them to, format it and all that stuff too. But
really,
get the information out of you, and then someone else can put it together and make it look pretty.
I appreciate that. That might be how we actually get one cranked out this year. So, yeah, that's good. Okay. Talk to us about Sister Leaders Conference happening in October.
Absolutely. So I'm excited. It is our annual conference. This is year 4 for us. We started during a pandemic in 2021. It was something that was just downloaded on my spirit that in order to have a wider bandwidth that I needed to go beyond books and speaking and different things. And so it is our annual conference where we bring together entrepreneurs and entrepreneurs, and they simply pour into the attendees there with their area expertise. We have men and women speakers. This year it is October 4th and 5th, and we're going to be in Portsmouth, Virginia at the Rivers Casino. I'm excited about that because it's our first fully live conference. We started out 100% virtual, then we moved to hybrid, one day in person and one day virtual, and then this year we are fully live, and we're going to be live streaming globally to our global audience because Sister Leaders is a global organization.
I love that. I love a conference. I didn't know that was going to be a thing for me, but I love a conference. I feel like people need to get together. Well, the planning is fun, but I love what can happen at a conference. I feel like you can get something out of a conference that you're just not going to get anywhere else, you know? So I appreciate you doing that work. I was going to ask you a question, but I forgot it. Sister Leaders Conference, October 4th and 5th. You said Rivers Casino, Portsmouth.
Correct, in Portsmouth, Virginia. And then I do want to mention our theme. So our theme is more, exclamation point. Women deserve to be seen more, heard more, paid more.
Okay. So, where can folks get more information about the conference?
The conference, sisterleadersconference.com is the conference website. You can find all things there.
Very good. And it's 2 days.
Absolutely.
And it's at the casino. So you got some kind of baked in entertainment.
Yeah, that was the whole thing. When I watched them pour the concrete over there, I was like, my conference is going to be here. And God lined it up for it to happen.
Yeah. Really, really cool.
Yeah.
Let me ask this question too, because you talked about sort of the hybrid model, going to be streaming globally. I know that in years past, you brought some heavy hitters. Talk about some of the folks that have participated in your conference before.
Oh, absolutely. So I've had Dr. Sandra Stribling, retired military personnel, life coach, Dr. Cheryl Wood, who is the coach for speakers. Shout out, she's also my speaker coach.
Okay.
I've had Kern Cherry, who's the Butts in the Seats queen, who has over 2 decades of doing conferences. Dr. Delatoro McNeil, he's one of our male ambassadors who is just a powerhouse. Peak Performance is his community. Dr. Will Moreland, retired military, just have spoke for everyone. Coke, Pepsi, just everyone. And so I've been blessed. Dupe Alaru, one of the first female leaders to convert to have a financial contract with TikTok.
Wow.
She was one of the first ex-teacher. And so I've been blessed to be able to bring some big names to my conference. My goal when I prayed on it was I didn't want to be known as the little conference. There were so many during the pandemic conferences popping up out of necessity that I didn't want to be known as the little conference. And so I knew that required some investment of level of expertise and financial investment that would be involved in order for it to be one of the powerhouses that I had envisioned it to be.
Yep. If you just tuned in, Blair Durham here with Black Wall Street Today, having a great conversation with Dr. Karen Hills Pruden. We're talking about Sister Leaders Conference. Again, sisterleadersconference.org, October 4th and 5th, right here in Hampton Roads, city of Portsmouth, Rivers Casino. It's going to be an amazing time. Yeah.
I'm excited.
We just appreciate your leadership. I remember when I first met you, Dr. Pruden, someone introduced us. I think
I don't even remember when I first met you.
We met because Black Brand was doing some work at Booker T. Washington High School with young people.
Oh, yes.
And I believe one of our acquaintances brought you in as a judge.
Yes,
and I was like, okay, who is this lady? You were doing some great work in community leadership at that time.
They were doing a pitch competition.
They were.
Yes,
yep.
I remember that.
But since then, we've got Dr. Karen working in all kinds of capacities through the organization, coaching and speaking and consulting. And so I don't know how you have capacity, but we just appreciate you and all your leadership and all your gifts, for sure.
Thank you so much. I love everything that I do, and it's a blessing to be able to say that and mean it.
And I was thinking about that as I was walking up. I was like, wow, God allowed me to do the things that I love.
Yep.
This is incredible.
And I say and mean it because you hear people say it because they think it's the appropriate thing to say.
Yeah.
But when people talk about capacity, when I get calls and people say, I want you to do this, but I don't know if you have time. I listen to what it is, and I already know whether or not I'm going to make time for it. I already know because if it's something that I love and I'm looking at my schedule at the same time, and if I'm not already committed, because my word is bond, if I tell people I'm going to be somewhere, I'm going to be there. So if I'm already committed, I just have to say I got something to do. But if it's something that I can shift around because it's not that type of commitment, then I will do it. And that's how I have capacity, because when you love something, you don't care about less sleep. You don't care about hustling, getting in your car, running from event to event. Sometimes
have you ever just been energized after 2 or 3 hours of sleep because you just love what you do?
Yep, absolutely.
Yeah, and you never even saw any detriment.
Yep.
Never.
Now, there will be in the long term, though.
You think so? I'm hoping not.
Physically. Yeah.
I'm hoping not.
Physically, because my doctor said that when you are staying up, your heart is going at full-fledged. And so the purpose of rest is for your heart to calm down.
Okay.
Which is why if you do that for decades, that, people have early heart attacks and different things like that. And so I do try to be mindful of that, because right now...
But a couple times a year, conference season, it's like, okay, we know we're not going to get as much sleep.
I don't think that'll kill us. I hope not.
Because I actually think that if what you said is true, and I know that to be true, then the opposite might be true as well, in terms of we need that level of excitement. We need that level of engagement with what we're doing.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, it helps you do it for the long run. If what you're doing is for the long run, then that's the only way that you can sustain yourself, is if you get a degree of satisfaction and enjoyment out of doing it, because it's work.
A high degree of satisfaction and enjoyment.
It's work, it's hard work, it's tireless work. Sometimes it's unthankful work. And you just got to keep trucking, even beyond the naysayers sometimes. The people who say things aren't possible, and it has to be possible because of, for me, the number of women that I'm trying to reach.
Right. So how do you galvanize support for your initiatives? How do you build teams around this important work that you're doing?
I always do a professional analysis, a SWOT of my business. What are our strengths, what are our weaknesses, and our opportunities and our threats. And so where our weaknesses and opportunities are where I hire help, whether it's contract help or even employees. I've been blessed to be able to have people who work for me. Hire businesses. I have a sales team that works for me. I have a conference team, and then I have a speaker coach. And so I have 3 different groups of individuals. So I believe in hiring expertise. And then I have people who believe in my mission and vision who call me and say, what can I do to help
you?
Oh, yeah, I love those people.
Isn't that amazing?
Yes, I love those
How
people.
your mission can actually drive people directly to your doorbell.
Yep, absolutely. And so I love those people. And in turn, I go and support their communities as well. And so that's how we make it work.
Yeah, that's a beautiful thing.
Absolutely.
What advice would you give to someone who says, you know what, I know I need to start a community? There's a particular, you called it a pain point. There's a pain point that I've been able to work through, and I know I need to help others. How do you start a community?
Oh, wow. I'm not sure strategically how do you start a community. Mine's naturally came about because I started out speaking, and then I got a following speaking, and then I got a following from those who were reading my book. And then when I did the conference, the same people who were watching me speak and hiring me to speak started attending my conferences, and then we had that whole reciprocal thing. You speak at my conference, I speak at your conference type thing. But you need to be around like-minded individuals. And when I say like-minded, they don't have to think exactly like you, because I think groupthink can work to a company's detriment. You need someone in the room who is a disruptor from time to time to help you think about the next level. But like-minded in terms of what it is that you're trying, complementary.
Okay.
So let's say complementary. So people who are in my leadership community are people who believe in female leadership, people who saw the void when they were coming up through entrepreneurship or whether corporate America, and they know that there's a need for it. No, it was a need for it. And so the communities just came, but you have to have a place for them to congregate.
Right,
and
right.
so I have a website, Facebook page, and I also have meetings, and I did Facebook Live. I did Facebook Lives for years. Just Us Sisters Talking was the name of my Facebook Lives, and I was up there every week talking about everything that affects female professionals, and people followed me as a result of that.
Okay, so I heard several different things. I know you weren't prepared for that question, but I think you did well. So it's the natural following that working through that pain point has kind of brought your way. Having somewhere for them to hang out, engaging them on a consistent basis around that particular thing. And I also heard allowing them to be subject matter experts as well.
Absolutely.
Supporting that community.
Absolutely. And you have to support. You have to support too. I mean, if you want people to be part of your community, but you aren't showing up at other people's community and believing in what they say you do.
That's a tough one, Kara.
I know, but it's
You're in my driveway now. I'm like, I'd be tired once I'm done doing all the things that I'm trying to do. But you're right, though. It does have to be reciprocal, or it's not going to be sustainable. Okay.
And you do that well.
We're doing the best we can.
Yes, absolutely.
And now we can't even use like having babies as an excuse. Now it's like, all right, these kids are old enough. You can bring them with you.
Yeah. And people will say that in a minute.
Bring them with you. So, no, this is great. So, highlight one more time for us any social media handles, websites that you'd like to share in the last minute here.
Yeah, actually, we do have a free Facebook community called Sister Leaders Community. There are a lot of Sister Leaders pages. They're all mine.
Wow.
It's trademarked.
I know that's right.
It's trademarked, but Sister Leaders Community.
Trademark your community. That's another nugget.
Yeah, Sister Leaders Community is the free, it's a couple of thousand people up there, a free community where we share literally free resources. I have subject matter speakers up there.
Very good.
And so I would encourage everyone to join the community, and then you can find out all things Sister Leaders, because we also use that as a platform to post the things that are going on for Sister Leaders.
Okay, very good. Awesome. This platform is all about Black business, research and analytics, networking and development. We are your premier media hub for all things that are related. And so we're, of course, brought to you by Black Brand, your regional Black Chamber of Commerce, with a laser focus on narrowing the racial wealth gap. How do we do it? Business development, professional development. So that's conferences, that's cohorts. Certainly you're invited to visit our website at blackbrand.biz and learn more about opportunities that you can take advantage of. And thank you all so much for tuning in today to Black Wall Street Today. Here we are building minds, we're building connections, and we're forging the path ahead toward business success in the Black community. We look forward to talking with you next week.
This episode was brought to you by Positive Vibes Consulting. That's positivevibesconsulting.com. If you're a business owner and the bank said no, we may have a solution for you. Let's have a conversation. If you're a nonprofit organization, let's strategize and find ways for you to have continuous income while you're searching for donations and pursuing grants. That's positivevibesconsulting.com. A proud member of Black Brand.
Phenomenal. Stay with us online at Black Wall Street Today on Facebook and Black Wall Street Today on Instagram. And then follow us on Twitter as well at BWS Today. We look forward to talking again next week. Have a wonderful week. I have said and I will continue to say that the most important priority for the Black community is the Black community, not a particular political party. Phenomenal.
Hey, yo, when I say Black, you say Wall Street. Black Wall Street.